You changed the street. Yeah. Let's go for the photo. Thank you. This is Cyprus, our bilateral European states that share common values and principles questioned by abominable organizations of another issue which I would like to warmly welcome the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg, my friend, our friend, Mr. Jan Asselborn, to Cyprus. I would like to congratulate Jan for a very productive and successful Luxembourg presidency of the Council of the European Union, which has just been completed. You have shown leadership, efficiency in steering the European Union and its member states in responding to the unprecedented refugee crisis in a spirit of humanity, solidarity and responsibility. Minister Asselborn was briefed by the President of the Republic on the latest developments in the current negotiating process for finding a solution to the Cyprus problem. I wish to express our appreciation for Luxembourg's supporting stance on the Cyprus issue and its sensitivity to principled positions such as the full and effective implementation of the European acquis in post-solution Cyprus. During the consultations here at the Ministry, we discussed in detail our bilateral relations and we examined new areas of possible cooperation. We are both small countries which share common values, and this gives us a certain esprit de corps. Although I should underline that Luxembourg is a founding member of the European Union with tremendous experiences, and we aspire to follow its example. We exchange views on the current situation in Turkey and Turkish accession process. Cyprus' position remains clear that Turkey must fulfill all its obligations vis-à-vis the EU, including those related to Cyprus. We discussed a number of global and regional issues of mutual concern, such as the migration crisis, where Luxembourg and Cyprus see eye to eye on necessary EU internal coordination and policies to effectively deal with this crisis. We also discussed the threat of terrorism, as well as the developments in Syria, Libya, and the Middle East peace process. Thank you very much for your attention, and I will now give the floor to Minister Asselborn.
First, to my friend Yanis Kasoulides, Foreign Minister. I had the honor also to see this morning President Anastasiades, and I think I will be more informed and better informed if I go back to Luxembourg and to Brussels about Cyprus. We had the opportunity to have an extended exchange of views on several topics, and I welcome and I am truly honored to reconfirm our excellent, long-lasting bilateral relations, and I want to thank my friend, the Minister, for the kind words about the qualification of our presidency.
You deserve it.
we have done our best, and we will continue to do our best, very, very close with the interest also of Cyprus. Regarding, I want to say it publicly, the candidature of Cyprus for the presidency of the 71st session of the UN General Assembly, I wish to assure you once more of the full support of Luxembourg to the candidature of Mr. Andreas Mavroyiannis. On the Cyprus question, I welcome the resumption of settlement talks and also the strong commitment of President Anastasiades and also Mr. Akinci to finally putting an end on the long-standing Cyprus problem. We all hope that the negotiations will soon lead to a comprehensive settlement to the benefit of all, and tomorrow I will also see Mr. Akinci. I want also to reaffirm our full support for a comprehensive settlement, given its importance for wider security and stability in the region, where an increasingly unstable political climate and the worst refugee crisis since World War II makes such an agreement an indispensable geostrategic asset for the European Union. On migration, you said it, dear Ioannis, migration is a top priority and will remain one at every level given the ongoing migration and refugee crisis, I think even in the next decade. As long as political differences are not resolved, dealing with the refugee crisis will be even a bigger challenge, I think, in the future. And if the EU works together, I believe that durable solutions can be found and carried out. Finally, on Turkey, in line with the outcome of the recent EU-Turkey leaders meeting on the 29th of November, I welcome a re-energizing of the accession process. I am convinced that the negotiations promote reform efforts in Turkey, particularly in the areas of rule of law and fundamental rights. It is in the EU's interest to promote close relations with Turkey in a number of important areas of common interest, such as migration, counterterrorism, energy, economy and trade, and we cannot engage with Turkey, but engage with Turkey in these fields. We constantly recall in our contacts with Ankara that Turkey can accelerate the pace of negotiations by advancing in the fulfillment of benchmarks, by meeting the requirements on the negotiating framework, and by respecting its contractual obligations toward the EU and all, I underline all, its member states. Thank you. That I am convinced that 2016 will be a very important year in this context, and I think that everybody in the European Union is ready to support and knows about the importance of this ongoing process now. Luxembourg had the presidency in the year 2005, the last time. Now we are 15. And in 2005, we had been very close to a kind of solution. So it was not possible. The next presidency of Luxembourg will be in 14 years. And I am convinced that in the end of this year, we will see a solution. I am also convinced that already in spring, maybe that there are steps in the good directions. And everybody, I have to repeat this, in the European Union will support these steps. I know, I spoke with the President, I spoke also with Ioannis, Foreign Minister, and also with the American lady here in the buffer zone, Madame
Lisa Badenheim.
Lisa, voilà. And everybody told me that there is hope, and on the other side, there are difficult questions like the property, also like the guarantees, but the political will is there, here, but also on the other side, and this must come to a positive result.
Well, and of course, you know that the European Commission participates practically The envoy of Mr. Juncker, Mr. Van Nuffel, is here with the representatives of the Commission. So if you want practical ways that they are involved, they are helping decide on the European acquis that will have to be part of the settlement.
On the migration policy, failed or not failed, till now, sir, I agree with you, the implementation of what we decided here, we have failed, yes, at this moment. But I think that in our presidency, we always considered the whole migration problem as a package. It's relocation, it's resettlement, it's control of external borders, it's returns, and so on and so on. And in some areas we made a lot of progress. We decided the mechanism of relocation. This is there. It's European law. So as soon as possible in Greece and in Italy above all, that they are able to do it, it's possible to do it immediately then. I think in the next 3-4 months it will be still difficult to do it, but the moment will come that we can use this relocation mechanism. On resettlement, it was easier than relocation. So it was easier to accept people who are not yet in the European Union as the contrary. But here also, I think we have done the preparation to be able to do it. What we have to do now is to implement very, very quickly the propositions made by the Commission on the 15th of December. So that means that we need a stronger Frontex to be able to control the external borders and to have an instrument to do it. The control of the external borders is not only a problem of Italy or of Greece or of some other countries in on the external borders, but it's a European problem. And we have to solve this with European means, and that's what we have to do now. Returns will remain the most difficult point in this whole context. And also here, I think if we are able to give a better mandate, a stronger mandate to Frontex, to do it in a European way, not to say, you Italy, you Greece have to do this, but we as European Union have to organize it. And that will be key, I think, to go in a better direction in the future.